Welcome, my darlings, to my humble chateau. Please make yourself very comfortable. Relax your mind and release your imagination to me. I will bring you a story to entrance and entertain. Perhaps a frightening one. Perhaps a steampunk. Perhaps a bit of mythology. Anyway, sit back, enjoy, and subscribe to me. The Night by Gelfwyn. There is an ancient tree with branches spread so high and wide it has caught stars within its leaves, and those stars will at times weep and wail, calling travelers to come and hear a tale. This is one such story told beneath that tree. The Night. He would have his story told. Will you listen? He was a man who the light did smile upon. In him were the makings of a hero, a leader of men who would have shined brightly. Young farm lads would have made swords of sticks, shields of barrel lids, and annoyed the livestock pretending to be him. Girls would have sighed and dreamed over him, tearing petals from 1,000 poor flowers. Men would have followed him with confidence, never questioning that they would triumph with him in the lead. Women would have looked at their husbands and frowned with disappointment. He was destined to shine the light of all that was holy upon 1,000 souls. Statues would have been made of him. His tomb would have become a shrine. Yet you do not know his name. There are no lads wielding makeshift swords in his name. Maids would more likely to run in fear from him were he known. His grave lies unknown, not even a wooden plank to mark it. The only flowers are the weeds the wind carried by chance. How did it come to this? The shining knight who was destined to be a hero, instead is rotting bones beneath the earth, unremembered. It was, of all things, a girl. We cannot call her a woman. She was not yet. She was an innocent, her parents' joy, a blessing for simple people living in a harsh land. Beautiful, for all that she was still a flower bud, petals not yet unfurled to show the world, only the hints of what would come. Talented, she sang and played the lute so sweetly that the birds would come to listen to her. She was kind, loving, gentle. Never would she hesitate to help a friend or a stranger. So how did it come to this? A fledgling hero was brought low by this most pure of maidens. Would you say lust? You would be wrong. Would you think jealousy? No, you are still wrong. Anger? No, not even that. So our tale begins in earnest. The knight had fought bravely against the invasions of darkness, demons, and death. Already his name was being noted by those that led. Already he was being sent to harder tasks than others his age. Already it was being quietly noted that he would be one to watch. And so that was how he came to this desolate place, where a few farms tried to bring life from the exhausted soil. But something was creeping into that land, returning it to the wild and unknown. He was sent to find that evil seed before it blossomed. He was wandering in those deserted fields when he heard the sound of a lute, a soft, sweet sound that called to him. His charger snorted and pranced in place, not wishing to head towards the darkening forest of twilight. The song ceased. The charger grew more restless as he climbed down to open a gate. Had the Faith been able to watch over him in this forsaken land, he would not have gotten off his charger. Had fate been kinder, he would have never heard the lute. But he heard it. He sought it. He opened the gate, and the rusted hinges gave a screech in protest. And so grief came to the night. Movement among the shadows, gray, tattered cloth, flickering light. He drew his sword and struck out as a demon visage emerged from the leaves. "Father!" The girl's voice, high-pitched in pain and fear, the gray cloak falling away to reveal not a demon but a girl, her hair soft shades of copper curling about her like rose petals, her eyes the green of new leaves, her face distorted by agony. His blade slipping from her abdomen as she backed away, the hooded lantern falling to the ground, its light casting eerie shadows, making her face a demon mask, before settling again to show the truth. A maid, not a demon, blood turning the cream-colored dress ruddy. She fell back, hands holding her stomach, crashing sounds through the forest. "Joy! Where are you, Joy?" The night backed away from the man's strangled cries, tainted with fear for his child, perhaps already something creeping into the voice, a knowledge no parent wishes to know, that their child has cried out to them, dying. He had been a big man once, but the land had worn him to bone and sinew, leathery skin, and grizzled hair. He had gathered his daughter to him, his fragile, loving child, his one hope for the future, his blessing as she coughed and ceased to breathe. A woman came next, too late by a breath, hands still wringing the apron around her thickened waist. Her scream sent his charger into another fit of nervous stamping. She saw him, saw her daughter's blood dripping from his sword, and flew at him, her hands beating against armor. Useless. She could cause him no harm, nor could the barefoot girl that lay limply in her father's arm have harmed him. But he had killed her, proof shining ruby bright on his sword, smearing against the faded cloth of her mother's skirt. He stepped away from the woman who collapsed wailing to the uncaring sky. The would-be hero could do nothing to make this right. The girl lay dead in her father's arms, being rocked as if a babe again. Nevermore would she smile and brighten their day. Nevermore would her singing voice lift spirits. Nevermore would her hands lighten their labor. Nevermore would he be the man he had been before. Her blood was now a shadow on his soul, a shadow that would grow and drown out the light that had once been so bright. He mounted and fled into the night, spurring his charger relentlessly, carelessly. Halfway through the night it was sweaty, and bloody froth ran from its nose. In the darkness it stumbled and fell, the proud, fearless beast, turned into carrion for crows and maggots by his master's sin. The knight stumbled onward, finally finding a tavern. But even it, he knew, would offer no relief. Not once they knew what blood caked his sword and smeared his armor. And they would know. Word spread. Had the girl been older, had she been less innocent, had she been a son, Any of these may have lessened the sin, may have softened the blow. But others knew of her, of the joy that blossomed in the desolation. Others had seen her, watched her, treasured her. So news of her death hounded the heels of the night, and with each whisper it changed a bit. An accident in the night, an accident as he chased the girl, an ambush, a man seeing a maiden, a hunt, destruction of the purity, a single blow, a vicious attack, a massacre, a desecration of the body. With each story, he was made more a monster. In battle, every enemy had her new leaf eyes. His nights were filled with the sound of her cry, with the whispering bubble of her last breath. The whiskey bottle gave relief at first, a blessed silence. Then it contained the parents' wails of grief. So he drank more of the fermented fluid, hoping for the blessing of Lathe to come, but he would feel the mother's first pounding on his breastplate. He would hear the lute, that siren song that had lured him to that cursed meeting. A year he ran. A year he fell further from the light. He returned. No charger, no armor, only that sword. That damned weapon that had drunk a child's blood. The farm was wilder, more overgrown. A lone cow dead in the untended field. The house dark. He thought deserted. Then a man was standing in the door. "Come to finish the task?" Bitter, drink-slurred voice. The father stumbled past him towards the graveyard, toward two graves. Mother had followed daughter into her bed of cold earth. A lute, weathered and battered by the elements on the older grave, that which had called him to her, now marked her resting place, calling him again to it. Flowers grew about the graves, tended more lovingly than any crop. The knight dropped the cursed sword upon the ground and turned to run again, to find a place that no one would call him a murderer, to find some place he was not known. His grave lies in the forest beyond the broken fence. The father would not have him rest so close to his joy. He would not have him absolved of his sin and placed on holy ground. He would not have him escape a second time into the night. That dropped sword, it was not so hard to pick up. It was not so hard to thrust it, just like a pitchfork into hay. Flesh gave way to the blade. As it had drunk his daughter's blood, so did it drink the knight's. So fell a hero, not by battle, not by evil, not by treachery, but by a father's grief. So quoth this raven. Oh, this is a good one, my dears. Of course it is. Gelfwyn's always got such good stories. This one she posted in my subreddit. If you have something to share or want to read what's there, it's Mother Raven's Darlings. You can check it out. There should be a link down below if I remember to update. Please like, and if you comment, I will try and comment back. Ring the little bell and subscribe so you know when to come up and see me. And I will see you next time, my darlings. Bye-bye.